My name is Rafiq, and if you're listening to this story, I want you to remember one thing before I begin. Blind trust is the sharpest blade. It cuts the deepest. I was born in a small town. Life was never easy for me. My father died young, and my mother struggled to raise me with what little she had. From childhood, I knew one thing. If I wanted a place in this world, I had to build it with my own hands. That's how my little shop was born, a modest grocery store, nothing special. But it was mine. Every corner, every shelf, every coin, I earned it through sweat and sacrifice. And I wasn't alone. I had Kamal. Kamal wasn't just my friend, he was my brother. We grew up side by side, two boys chasing the same dreams. We shared food when we had none, defended each other in schoolyard fights, laughed until our stomachs hurt. We used to sit under the old banyan tree at night and whisper about the future. Kamal would always say, "One day, Rafiq, we'll be more than this. We'll be kings in our own right." I believed him. So when he walked into my shop, years later, smiling that same confident smile and said, "Rafiq, let's build something bigger together. Make me your partner. We'll grow this business side by side." How could I refuse? He was family to me. I gave him everything. My savings, my trust, my loyalty. For a time, I thought I made the right choice. Business picked up. The shop was buzzing. Customers came in droves. Kamal handled the accounts while I ran the floor. We were the perfect team. But I didn't know then that what I thought was brotherhood was only the beginning of betrayal. At first, everything seemed normal. The money came in. The customer smiled. We even joked about expanding into a second shop. But then, small things, cracks in the wall, a receipt missing here, a debt unpaid there. I remember one evening, I sat at the counter flipping through the ledger. The numbers didn't add up. My chest tightened. I asked Kamal, "Brother, where did this extra money go? The accounts aren't balancing." He just laughed, a light, easy laugh. "Don't worry, Rafiq. I'm handling it. Trust me." And I did, again and again. Because this was Kamal. He would never hurt me. Or so I thought. Months later, letters started arriving. Bank notices, debt collection warnings. At first, I thought it was a mistake, but it wasn't. I had unknowingly signed away documents, papers Kamal pushed in front of me with reassuring words. One day, I went to the bank to ask about my shop loan. And that's when I found out. The shop wasn't mine anymore. It was Kamal's. That night, I confronted him. My hands shook, my voice cracked. "Kamal, tell me the truth. Did you take everything from me?" He looked at me with eyes I no longer recognized. Cold, cruel. "You're nothing more than my employee now." My knees nearly gave out. My whole world, the shop, my savings, my future, it was gone. I went home and told my family. Instead of support, I got blame. "You trusted too much. You're a fool, Rafiq," my brother said. Even my mother turned her face away. Friends stopped answering my calls. I was left completely alone. I spiraled. Nights without sleep, days without food. And one night, I walked to the railway tracks. The air was cold. The metal hummed beneath my feet as a train approached in the distance. I thought, this is it. This is how I end it. No more shame. No more pain. But fate had other plans. A passerby pulled me away at the last moment. I collapsed on the ground, trembling, gasping, staring at the stars above. And something inside me changed. I swore a vow. Every betrayal will face justice. Every injustice will pay its price. I didn't scream. I didn't fight openly. No. That's what Kamal expected. Instead, I became a shadow. I started digging. Bank statements, signed documents, hidden accounts. I spoke quietly to suppliers, to workers, to families who had been ruined by him. And I learned something. I wasn't the only one he had betrayed. There was a supplier who lost his entire business after Kamal cheated him out of payment. There was a worker who was denied wages, beaten down until he left town. There was a widow. Her husband had invested with Kamal, lost everything, and took his own life. Everywhere I turned, there was another victim, another broken life, another soul carrying the scars of his lies. And every story fueled me. I became colder, sharper, patient. While Kamal flaunted his wealth, driving new cars, living in a villa of marble and glass, I waited. Because I knew one day his time would come. Years passed. People forgot me. But I didn't forget him. And then the night came. A storm raged outside as I called them all. The ones he cheated, the ones he destroyed. We gathered inside his villa, one by one. When Kamal walked in, his confident smile faltered. His eyes darted around the room. "What is this?" he demanded. No one answered at first. Then, slowly, voices rose. The supplier stepped forward. "You ruined me, Kamal. I fed my children scraps because of you." The widow spoke, tears in her eyes. "My husband died because of your lies. I sleep alone every night because of you." The worker said quietly, "You took the bread from my table, the roof from my head." Each story fell on him like a hammer, crushing his arrogance. And finally, I stepped forward holding a thick file of papers. "You took everything from me, Kamal. My shop, my savings, my dignity. But tonight, you will lose everything you ever had." The doors burst open. Police officers stormed in. Fraud, corruption, embezzlement. The evidence I had gathered for years fell like a mountain on his shoulders. He shouted, he pleaded, but the handcuffs closed around his wrists. They dragged him out into the storm while his empire crumbled. I didn't smile. I didn't cheer. I just breathed. For the first time in years, I could breathe. Months passed. I started to rebuild, slowly, piece by piece. Then one morning, I heard the news. Kamal was dead. In prison, he had made enemies he couldn't deceive. One night, they cornered him. By morning, he was gone. I sat in silence for a long time when I heard it. I didn't feel joy. I didn't feel sorrow either. I only whispered, "This was the night of final judgment. No betrayal goes unpunished." So if you're listening to my story, remember this. Betrayal wears many faces, but it always leaves scars. Justice may take years, but it never forgets. And no matter how powerful someone becomes, they cannot escape the weight of their own sins. Because, in the end, every betrayal faces judgment. Every injustice pays its price.